Hey, what's going on? Miguel, Lord, host of Life Full Circle Radio. And this week it's all about gossiping Negroes. That's what we're going to talk about today. What's up, cousin? My cousin hanging out with us. Happy New Year, family. So I'm on vacation and I'm chilling. I'm on the cruise and all I'm seeing is this stuff about Katt Williams. So everybody, if you've been on the rock, which it's not necessarily been on the rock, but you know, it's what it is. Katt Williams been on Club Shay Shay, which is Shannon Sharp, and he did an interview, and he pretty much threw every known comedian alive under the bus. He at least, and he praised one that was dead, Bernie Sanders. But everybody, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Mac. And so we're going to talk about this. We're going to break it down. I have varying opinions. Kia has her opinions. Everybody else is so funny. I think they need to find themselves a name for the people who support Katt Williams because they turn into the Beehive the way they've been going hard in the paint for Katt Williams. All right, before we bring Kia in, we got an affiliate relationship. What you see on this thing is ran by a program called Ecamm. And there's so much you can do with this platform. If you are a videographer, video podcaster, all that type of stuff, or a videographer, you can do some production on the side too. We got some opportunities. Give me a QR code on the screen. You can get a deal. What's going on, super producer?
What's up? I was just going through some of our past shows on the Facebook page. I have a different wig on in every single show for the past 9 weeks. I'm just like, oh look, short hair, long hair, curly hair, braids, Afro puff. It's all over the place.
That's your Whitney Houston wig. You wore that twice in the last few weeks. That's your Whitney Houston, yeah.
I want to dance with somebody.
All right, so anyway, let's jump into this thing. As I said, the title of this show today, we're going to be talking about gospel Negroes because for some reason it's just, I know it's been there the whole time, but it's a whole nother level right now, man. It's like everybody is just everything is about just running your mouth and seeing how that's going to get you some attention. You know, Color Purple just came out. We'll talk about Oprah and Taraji P. Henson down, in the second half of the show. But we got to jump into this thing and talk about Katt Williams. What's up, Andre?
Before we talk about Katt Williams, and we're talking about gossipy Negroes, we also got to talk about nosy Negroes. Congratulations to DDG and Halle Bailey, who did have a baby, which everybody knew the girl was pregnant. But she came out and they showed a picture of the baby's hand, and she was pregnant. She gave birth. Yeah. There are no pictures. I mean, we thought Kylie Jenner was good at hiding a pregnancy. Halle Bailey is taking it to a whole other level.
Yeah, you know what's so funny? I thought about that because the movie just came out. Color Purple just came out. She was in the movie. And I was like, was she at the movie premieres? I'm surprised there was no...
She was.
There was no pictures.
There is.
She must have really, really had a great designer, or she carried it all in her belly with a big old bow on the front or something. How did she hide this even at the premiere this recent?
That's exactly what was going on. Okay. Everything was empire waisted. Everything had some big accent in the front or a jacket or some kind of accent where you couldn't tell. That's why everybody was like, well, she could be, but then her face, and then maybe not. Maybe she's just tripping, but she didn't hide in the house like Kylie did. She went to every single job she was supposed to do and showed up and looked beautiful, and everybody just speculated.
So they said that they coming up, that they were doing a lot of fake baby stuff the week of, and then they finally released it. DDG, I have no idea who he is. I'm getting further away from knowing who these rappers are.
Somebody said he's a rapper. I thought he was a YouTuber. I don't know what this boy is.
Tomato, YouTuber, rapper that raps, YouTube, whatever. So evidently he's got himself one of the hottest people in Hollywood. But here's what I love about the way they did this. you can tell she's from the Beyonce school of public appearances, because this is something that Beyonce would do. All this time you hide your pregnancy this whole time. People don't know how Chloe and Halle, I think that was the name of their group. They were just Chloe and Halle.
It's Chloe and Halle, yes.
And I don't know if they're on Beyonce's label, but I know they were mentored by her earlier on.
They were mentored by her. I'm not even sure what label they're on, but they were mentored by her.
Right. And they've just done a great job of managing their public persona. And in this scenario, off of playing a Disney character, she's super young. She can't be 25 years old, right? I don't think she's that old. Because I think she's Halle. So Chloe's the older one, I believe. And I don't think either of those girls are 25 years old. But
wait, let's just see.
I love how they're managing their careers early on. When you start talking about out the gate, you got roles in The Color Purple. And
23.
23 years old. But you know what they might be? You know what they might be? They might be plants.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into Katt Williams. I mean, again, Miguel at the beginning of the show said, you might have been living under the rock. No, everybody knew about this interview. You know how I know? Because my mama asked me about it. My mama was like, did you see what Katt Williams was saying? I was like, how do you know what Katt Williams was saying? If my dad, who has no social media, would have called me or my husband and said, well, I heard about that comedian person. I think his name is Katrina Williams or somebody. He's talking about nobody name.
Oh, man.
But it was a big deal. So let's just dive into, I don't know if you want to explain it, or do we even need to explain it at this point?
Yeah, let's go. We can't assume everybody. You go ahead, jump on in, and then I will I'll come with my commentary. Go ahead, jump in.
So Katt Williams went on Club Shay Shay, which is hosted by Club Shay Shay podcast, which is hosted by Shannon Sharpe, who's not a journalist, and proved that he's not a journalist by this interview, by the way. He basically aired, I wouldn't call them grievances, but quote unquote corrections of interviews of comedians that had previously come on Club Shay Shay. They just weren't grievances that he had pulled out of thin air. He was going off of every single interview that had ever been on Club Shay Shay with Cedric the Entertainer, with Steve Harvey, with Ricky Smiley, with all these comedians that have been on there. And he told a lot of truths. He told a few white lies, I believe. But the funny thing is that a lot of the comedians he talked about have come out now, and they've only made themselves look stupid. Not one of these comedians who's been... You go then, since you got... So go ahead, say something.
No, that's... First of all, I'm going to let you finish your little diatribe, and then we're going to go to work on this thing. Go ahead. Because
everybody looks dumb.
So here's the thing. First of all, shout out to Shannon Sharpe, because... And he had no idea this was going to go down the way it went down. This is Club Shay Shay's Instagram page. That boy got about 30 drops of Katt Williams, because this thing up to this point has got over 12 or 13 million views. So here's the thing about me in this interview. And first thing you said, okay, a lot of truths. Okay. First thing that came out that became a big deal was the whole Cedric Entertainer. Let's see if this clip will
Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke? Yeah. He said it don't line up. How it don't line up? He thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke. So this is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke.
Okay.
1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship.
All right, so there's a ton of stuff that is there. I went back and I said, let me go look at these jokes and say, let me look at this thing. And I've had some conversation with some of our friends who are in the business, and I didn't even think about asking them to come on, because they don't need that smoke. They got work to do. Comedians borrow stuff from each other all the time. Now, the way Katt did, it's a whole joke. If you remember from, it was from Cedric Entertainer. It was the end of his set, and he's talking about, white people trying to get away from black people. They go into the moon. We come right behind them. I'm taking my spaceship, and I can't stay in there. And they got the music, whatever, playing. I heard the Katt Williams joke. Now said he did the joke long before that. I really don't care. It's 25 years ago. We're talking 25 years ago. And I said to myself, how has this ruined Katt Williams? Katt Williams is one of the biggest touring comedians in the world. Definitely in the black world, right? So I said to myself, okay. So then that was what that was. Then he started talking about Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley saying that he was the role that he played in Friday After Next, which is also 20 plus years ago, that Ricky said that was supposed to be my role. And he's like, how is he playing my role? Blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing, man. This was all about promotion. Katt got a new special coming out. Katt got a tour about to go on. I didn't give a damn before. Only reason I be talking about it now because it's good for us to talk about it because everybody talking about it. But all this about how you said that they came out and the comedians are looking crazy. Tell me why you think that they're looking crazy.
Yeah. Because no one's coming out and saying that he's an outright liar. They're all just saying, oh, he's on drugs. Oh, he's desperate. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. Oh, he's broke. No one is saying, no, that absolutely never happened. And then we have people like Ice Cube who helped write the script for Friday After Next.
He wrote the script. That's what he's always done. Right. Yeah, it's all.
He wrote the script for Friday, but he did it together for like the other two. He had help with those scripts because he said the team of writers had the script already done. We had the script done. Right. Money Mike was the same small role as Santa, Ricky Smiley's character, who, by the way, he wasn't playing Santa. He was a crackhead who was stealing from people who wore a Santa suit.
But he was a Santa.
There's a difference. Yeah. Either way, I go on to say that Katt Williams made that role his. And even Ice Cube said he made that role his. You know, he went in there and ad-libbed, and all the ad-libs part we kept. That was his role because he made it great. He gave us jewels. He made it what it was. The issue that I'm having with this, I don't agree with you on the fact it's 20 years ago. I kind of do, but also, if y'all gonna come out here and lie, don't lie on me. I would feel the same way if someone said, oh, you didn't win Miss Kappa Alpha Psi when we were in freshman year. You weren't even in the pageant. Like, excuse you. I don't care if that was 20 years ago. I absolutely did win that, and you will stop lying on me. And I mean, a lot, you would be like that too.
The whole lying thing, first of all, Ice Cube came out, and Ice Cube said, yes, Ricky did read for the Money Mike role, right? So in Hollywood,
but that's not what Ricky claimed. Ricky claimed that the role was made for him.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, I haven't heard Ricky say that, but I don't doubt that he said that. Here's where I was ready to go with that. When I talk to some of the people I know in Hollywood, and I've had a couple of conversations since this started, and I've had people say, yeah, I've gone in and read for parts and was told by the producers, oh man, this role is yours. Come back tomorrow, the role is yours. Come back tomorrow, there's 30 other people who read for that same role, right? And so somebody could have been lying or somebody could have been posturing. It's Hollywood, right? But the problem I have with Katt with the Ricky Smiley situation is that he brought up the man's son. For people who don't know, Ricky Smiley's son overdosed last year, died of an overdose.
Yes. Was it this time? Is it almost like the year anniversary of this?
I'm not sure how long ago, but I know it was last year. I'm pretty sure it was last year. And for Katt Williams to bring up Ricky's son, and for no one to even challenge him on that, this shows how just we've gotten to this place in internet, in this world where people just have no respect for people in this space. And so I said to myself, once again, but we go back, this is 20 years old. Ice Cube came out, with his 9-minute response to it, and that's one of the things he brought up. When it came down to Ice Cube didn't sit up here and say everything Katt said was true. He kind of said, okay, all right. One thing I did remember that Ice Cube says, all these comedians I gave opportunities, ain't nobody put me in a movie since then. But I digress, right? I'm like, okay, y'all running around talking about all the opportunities Ice Cube gave you, and Ice Cube then had them all in movies almost seemed like. Mike Epps, whether it be Katt, whether it be Cedric the Entertainer, he done had them all in movies. So
by the way, Ricky Smiley's son's death, it'll be a year in 2 weeks. It'll be a year.
Right.
So, and he was actually on Instagram. I think he was getting ready to talk about the Katt Williams controversy. And he was stirring some coffee and he completely broke down. And people, neighborhood talk, y'all work my last nerve, like, oh, he's breaking down from the Katt Williams drama. I was like, no.
I had to unfollow neighborhood. I had to unfollow neighborhood talk. They too toxic.
It was too much for you.
I can't do it. It's too much, man. Too much toxicity on that neighborhood talk. Go ahead.
But I agree with you about what he said about Ricky's son. Even when he made that comment, even I was like, wow, ooh, that was completely unnecessary, sir.
Right.
I get where your beef is,
Right.
but that was unnecessary in the entire beef. And when you have other comedians come out like Faison Love saying that Katt is crying out for help, do you agree that that Katt Williams is crying out for help? Fat Faison said that.
Yeah, Fat Faison, who also caught a stray in this rant. Here's the thing. That could be part of what it is. I think he is.
Oh my God.
Katt Williams is extremely smart. I don't take any of that away from him. I know in my mind this was all about promotion. It's all about punching up. And there's no reason for Steve Harvey, who has one of the most successful game shows in the world, Steady Check, to say nothing. Cedric Entertainer, who's right now has a sitcom on CBS, which is hard for black folks to get sitcoms on CBS right now, and has been there for years and is now in syndication. Ricky Smiley has been on radio nationally for 20 years. So when he talk, and let's not even talk about Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, one of the most successful brands out there. And when he started talking about Kevin Hart being a plant, I'm like, what is a plant? Help me to understand what a plant is. When he said that garbage, I said, go ahead.
It's the same thing like they say a lot about the light-skinned rap girlies that are out now. They're all plants. Like none of them are actual rappers or writers or lyricists. They're all, you're pretty. You have a nice BBL. We can write for you. You just have to stay on beat. And there you go. We can make money off of you. And that's what they're saying is about.
Are we comparing Kevin Hart, who has sold out stadiums and arenas?
I'm not.
Right. So when you start talking about Kevin Hart being a plan, and he talked about Kevin Hart, and here's the video.
Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on.
And we're gonna talk about this dress shit in a second.
I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay. All right. For a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk, that all I had said was, just, can we take some of this step and fetch it shit out?
I want to stop right there. Can anybody envision roles that Kevin Hart's playing that Katt Williams would have played?
All of them.
No, I can't.
I can't.
And here's my opinion on that. From a marketing standpoint, Katt has never done anything to make himself marketable to the general public, right?
Yes, he has.
Really? You think the loud little short dude with a perm is marketable to white folk?
Once he won that Emmy, that's what made him marketable to white folks. If he hadn't won, just let me finish. If he hadn't won that Emmy, he was just doing the comedy clubs and the specials and stuff. I would have been like, yeah, he's us. Tyler Perry, great. He could have done the Tyler Perry circuit. Once he won that Emmy and got recognized for it by a lot of people, I'm like, okay, now I can see it. And some of these movies he's in, maybe not the movies Kevin Hart is doing now. The Kevin Hart movies he was doing earlier, I could absolutely see either one of them. You switch Kevin for Katt, and it would have been fine.
So he won the Emmy for a role on ATL, right?
Yes. A dramatic role.
A dramatic role on ATL. What movie has he played in since then? First of all, let me ask this question. Exactly. You could run down a multitude of movies that Kevin Hart has been in. At the same time, hold on, finish this point. What movie has Katt Williams been top billing on a movie? Any movie. I can't think of any besides comedy specials.
No.
Right.
No, he's never been top billing on a movie. He's done a couple of ensemble casts but never top billing. But like he was saying, he turned down roles that Kevin Hart took because he wanted to take care of remove some of the step and fetch it stuff. Which I get, some of the stuff can be step and fetch it, but that's not how. But again, Katt, that's not how studios work. You can't look at a role that they've designed and go, "Well, I don't like these 5 things about it." Well, cool, you don't like it. There's a whole other plethora of short comedians that we can put in this role. But one thing that I do not like him talking about, and a lot of you black podcasters out there, I really get so mad when you guys talk about, they're always trying to emasculate black men by putting them in the dress. They always forget about the 15 white men that also wore dresses in movies, and everybody's like, it's only black men they do this to. Is it? Did everybody forget about?
Robin Williams played Mrs. Doubtfire.
Patrick Swayze.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin Hoffman.
Mm-hmm. I remember
Tootsie. John Travolta.
Okay.
I can keep going with lists of white men that also wore dresses in movies. Like, it's not a emasculate black men thing. It's always been funny to put the man in the dress and have him play the role. So when did it become we're only trying to emasculate black men? What is that bullshit? Sorry.
That's what gets the fodder going. That's what gets the conversation going, right? Can he claim that he's the only one of the few because even when Dave Chappelle had a famous interview with Oprah Winfrey, he said that he wouldn't wear a dress, and even in Men in Tights, he wore a dress. So, there's always
and tights.
He had a dress on. I've seen the scene. He was dressed as a woman. But that's, to me, that's a whole different conversation. When it's all said and done, going back to my example about him, and I cannot see the roles that Kevin Hart has played over the last 15 to 20 years, Katt Williams playing those roles. Now, maybe this was following up off of, let's just say, okay, going back to Friday After Next, Katt Williams is big, Money Mike, hilarious in that position. Kevin Hart was not Soul Plane may have been within that time frame 1 or 2 years. And so when I've seen interviews with Kevin Hart basically said that Katt Williams wouldn't do the work. And one thing I can say about Kevin Hart has always come off as a really, really hard worker when it comes down to him putting in the work, both keeping himself in shape, constant movies, constant specials. He's always working. And so he's one of the most palatable artists, black artists that are out there, and one who's not afraid to work. Because you think about, for years, Eddie Murphy he decided I'd make too much money, enough money out and disappeared into the light. And so Chris Rock is, as some people say, he white people funny. And Chris Rock is what it is, but Chris Rock he's not the best looking handsome guy. He's quirky, funny. Kevin Hart has done a great balance of being this little guy, short guy, who has a smooth style about him. He's funny. He has a self-deprecating humor, and he's built a career with that. Now he's got a Sirius XM channel. Now he's got, all types of ventures going on. I think he just opened up a studio here in Atlanta. So he's doing his thing.
Wait, here we go. Sorry, I was looking for the actors, the way because he's produced a lot of stuff. So let me go back. I want to see if I say a role.
Kevin Hart or Katt Williams right now?
Kevin Hart.
Okay.
Kevin, he's not okay. I'm sorry about to make a joke. Okay, so if we go back to when he first started, let's say Easy. I could see him in Soul Plane, but I think that's a given. That's a given. That's easy. Okay, let's go to a harder. Okay. Let's go to a harder one. No. Scary Movie 4. I didn't know he was in Scary Movie 4, but he'd be in Scary Movie 4.
Okay.
He could have easily been in Epic Movie, which is basically the same thing. He could have been in Meet Dave, because remember Kevin Hart was playing the little engineer inside of Meet Dave.
I've never seen I don't know what Meet Dave is. I don't know what that is.
It was Eddie Murphy. Okay, I'll go to another one.
He was in the movie Eddie Murphy. I don't remember that. Okay.
Death at a Funeral. Remember Death at a Funeral with Chris Rock?
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Katt Williams could have been in that role.
But okay, so here's the point.
Throw your hands up every time I say a role now. You're like, my God.
But because here's the point I'm making about the roles that they could play. Right now, Katt Williams is not a superstar type. He's just not.
No, he's not.
Like, you can't see him doing 5 films with The Rock.
Not now. No, not now. No.
I couldn't have ever seen Katt Williams doing that. And here's what's happening with Katt. Katt is now getting to the point where now the history is starting to come up about him being at Benny Siegel's concert and getting stomped out on the stage because he's jumping on somebody and starting to fight on the stage, and they stomping him out. Those videos are coming up. The video of him getting choked out by the 12-year-old boy, that stuff is coming up, right?
Where was the video where he did not? Is that the one where he got beat up before a comedy special and they canceled the comedy show? Who was that?
I don't. He's got so much. The whole thing with the guy, the Wonder Woman, who was the co-host of Frank Ski here in Atlanta, and her husband chased him down out of a nightclub, and he ran.
Now that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
But here's the thing.
That's not even something for them to be proud of about, because they got into a back and forth on the show. He didn't call her no B word. He didn't call her out her name any kind of way. And she threw shots at him. He threw shots at her. So why are you going to this man's comedy show and chasing him with a gun? I remember when that happened.
And like you said, because some people are not going to tolerate that nonsense from nobody. You did, and I'm not saying the husband was right. I'm saying that some people don't have that level of tolerance. especially people who don't have much to. That dude, like, man, my wife is the only thing I got to lose. You disrespecting her on national radio, and that woman ain't been on radio since then. I believe she's been done on radio since
she
then.
got embarrassed, but she disrespected him first. Do you remember that part of the show where she disrespected him first, saying that he was a felon, had been in prison, and that he might be gay?
I don't know if that was the beginning of it or
fake.
not, but I don't doubt that she could have started it. What I know is that when it comes down to running his mouth, Katt Williams will finish most of those type of. He's a roaster. That's what he does. That cadence, the way he talks, it's funny. I've never said Katt Williams. Some people in some of these streets, these internet streets, are saying, "Oh, you just don't like Katt Williams." I think Katt Williams is hilarious in stand-up.
My husband hates Katt Williams. Not Katt Williams. My husband hates Kevin Hart.
I think we've talked about that before. But I don't have a problem with Katt Williams' comedy. I have a problem with him taking it too far. And so for you to sit up here, like the whole situation, and you're gonna bring up. Here's Steve Harvey.
That went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit.
He's kind of right about that one.
Right.
because hanging out with Mr. Cooper. If it was out before the Steve Harvey show, that was definitely a facsimile.
It was out 4 years before, and Mark Curry ended up being a consultant on the Steve Harvey show. Like, it was the
Mark
exact
Curry got a check,
show.
so he still got paid.
Now let me tell you though, that high top fade thing.
Yeah.
Listen, I always thought Steve Harvey's hair was fake. And then when he let it go, I thought, oh, it was thinning, and he let it go. But in reality, he just took his hat off. He's like me when I take my wigs off. Like, you can take this off and put it on the little mannequin head, and I'll slap it on in the morning. Why do you think that? Now you know that it's fake. It never looked good. What up, Troy? Now that we know that his hair was fake, did it ever really look good? Now that you know that it was fake.
I did. I would never wear my hair like that. That is to me when I see people.
You would wear a sponge.
That is a Midwestern thing. There are people from Chicago and Cleveland, and just shout out to all my people who's up Chicago, Milwaukee. They love the thick hair and the lines up, and that's a Midwestern thing. And Steve will tell you in a minute he's from Cleveland. I was like, okay, and then when it came out, all of a sudden he was bald. He went with the baldy look. When it came, it's so funny. Think about it back in the day. We used to joke Steve Harvey about them 9-button suits that he would wear. That would be a running joke we would have. But Steve, and then when Steve got his sec, and then can we talk about him talking about the
9 buttons and wide leg pants
and the wide leg pants? But that was the late 90s, early 2000s. But then he started talking about, here's the thing, the problem that I have with him. He talked about Ricky Smiley's son. Then he started talking about people's wives. What makes you think it's okay?
I believe. I gotta go with him on this.
What is there to believe, Kia?
Every time a black man gets famous in Hollywood, all their women all look the same. They're all light-skinned, mixed with some exotic, and they don't have no voice. You'll never hear from these hoes, never. They don't have. Euduxie has been married. Is her name Euduxie? I don't know. Never heard her voice.
Who is Euduxie? Who is Euduxie?
Exactly. Who is Euduxie or Yuxie? What is Ludacris' wife's name?
I have no idea, and I don't care. I don't care about who that man married to.
What I'm saying is that he marries her. She never speaks. She could sound like Donald Duck, and we would not know. And even funnier, that girl dropped out of medical school to marry Ludacris and has not said a word since. That's weird. It's freaking weird.
Ludacris is a multimillionaire. Why she want to go out there and go to hospitals every day for 12 hours?
That's funny. Mark Zuckerberg's also a multi-millionaire. His wife is still a doctor.
Okay, but that was her choice. That's not weird. That's a choice. Being a doctor is hard work.
Ladies, it's weird. Don't give up a career like doctors, lawyers. You're gonna be a judge. Don't give up big careers because you're gonna be some guy's stay-at-home, never speaking wife. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie
Harvey.
Marjorie Harvey. I've never heard her do an interview. I've only heard voice spoken once on Family Feud. They had a couple other guys out there. All these wives, they all look the same, and they never talk. They never speak.
Because what's to talk about now, my man? What's up, D-Ski?
Have a charity organization,
who is Hazel E? Katt dated Hazel E. Who is that Hazel E? Do you know who Hazel E is?
Oh, Hazel E. They briefly dated, but yes, he dated Hazel E. She is the girl from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood.
Does she fall in line with the rest of them?
Yes.
Okay, so and he talking about all of them.
Except she speaks way way too much. Except she talks way too much. It's why she got put off the show, actually, because she talks way too much. Like, is ridiculous. She's a ridiculous human.
So, but the point is that he talking about these people's wives, and he had a woman that fell right in line with the same with the same stereotype.
But that wasn't his wife, though. But that wasn't his wife.
So she didn't make it to wife them, so he's off the hook. Man, this
not even close. They made it to we're naked in hotel rooms. We never like that's
but
too
what
much.
Makes you think is that people's wives are fair game, like for real. I'm just as I'm listening to this, and first of all, I don't know about you if you ever got past the 45, 50 minutes. After that, I was just like, I can't do no more of this. And they said it was 3 hours of that thing.
I had my mom give me the recap. My mom had because it was so much. I was doing laundry and working and cooking dinner. So my mom and my brother watched all of it. His wife fell asleep watching it. Like they actually put it on their big screen at their home to get through it.
Oh my God.
But we got to wrap this up. We've been going long. Katt is incredibly smart. He is. And I did learn that he was a Jehovah's Witness. I did not know he was a Jehovah's Witness. Mm-hmm. I did not know that he got kicked out of his home, but tragedy brings triumph for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm kind of with you that he probably just has some stuff that's coming out. He's got a tour going.
He absolutely has.
I do think he does have some grievances he needs to air out, whatever. But, one of the other things I did want to bring up was Gary Owens. Because Gary Owens came out and said something interesting. Because a lot of people have issues with Steve Harvey. Not so much that Steve Harvey is a jerk, but that Steve Harvey is kind of about him and his business only. He is not about helping a bunch of other people. There was a story about him trying to take the role of Ocean's 11 from Bernie Mac. That came out in the interview, which I believe. I really do.
Sure.
We got the Mark Curry stuff. And then now also we got Gary Owens, who I didn't realize actually worked on the Steve Harvey show, backstage doing voiceovers, hyping the crowd. He was doing that, but he was told it was going to be something different being a part of the Steve Harvey talk show, and it never did. And he ended up leaving to go do the Squares when he was making. Yeah. Okay. No, not the radio show, the TV show. He's working on the TV show.
Steve Harvey got so many shows. Yeah. But that's not unusual. But in these type of talk shows, they have warm up comedians that get the crowd.
Yeah, but should Gary Owens be a warm up comedian at this point in his career? Gary Owens?
That's Gary Owens' decision. If Gary Owens not getting, here's the thing that people have to understand about Hollywood, and the reason why we're talking about what's her name that we're gonna talk about, Vivica Fox. Vivica Fox is doing commercials now, selling insurance for old cars.
She's selling everything.
Right. But
she's selling everything from cars to Bengay.
To Bengay, to wigs and everything else. Y'all got to understand how entertainment business work. They are independent contractors. They're not sitting there with a salary every 2 weeks, right? They go from job to job to job. And when they can find an opportunity like Steve Harvey, who does have a regular job or has a radio show he's been doing for 20 years, and then he's got and then he's got this, and he's got all these different shows. Yeah, they're going to take those checks and not have to go out there and write brand new jokes and go up and down on the road when they can go. Steve Harvey to the point that he does his radio show from his house. He goes right into his studio at the crib every morning, does his show via Zoom with all the other co-hosts up there. That's good work. And so if Gary Owens says, okay, I'm tired of being out on this road, I've been on this road for 25 years. I recently just got divorced. Hey, I don't know how recent the story is you're talking about, but I know he recently got divorced. He probably got alimony checks. He needs something regular. And if the regular is going and warming up to Steve Harvey for his little judge show, he said, all right, I'm good. Let's do it.
But he made more doing Hollywood Squares, 3 times more doing Hollywood Squares for 2 days than he was on the Steve Harvey show. But that we can move on to the next topic. So we can just hop right into Vivica Fox. She was actually interviewed today.
Well, hold on. Let's wrap up the Katt Williams piece.
Oh, okay.
Let's wrap up the Katt Williams piece, because when it's all said and done, the issue I have with this whole situation with Katt Williams is that he's taking this holier than thou type of position. Like it's stuff that he ain't done. There's stories out there of what Katt Williams has done people dirty. And I posted something. Recently, and it's funny. My Frank Williams, who we had on the show, who was the Hollywood producer, had him on about a year or so ago. Frank has a story about him. And matter of fact, let me see if I pull it up, or if I can pull it up on Instagram. Well, he basically says that it was the BET Awards, and of course, Katt is trying to backpedal on that now. That it was the BET Awards, and and that T-Pain ended up hosting. Here's a funny thing about this particular meme because my man Frank, I posted this and then he snatched my post and then went and put his own narrative behind it. And my post was Katt Williams can lie, tell the truth, be generous in a butthole at the same time is very possible. And so here's Frank's story. I worked with Katt on the Hip Hop Awards the second time. He ended up getting fired for his wild antics. He allegedly was sniffing that Christina Aguilera, the White Snow, at the time. That year, T-Pain became the host. No doubt Katt is super smart and generous level comedian. Can't take that away from him, but he's a petty and insecure little midget whose own BS prevented him from becoming a big movie star. He's jealous of Kevin Hart and wishes he was as big as Kevin Hart and is now blah, blah, blah. So point being, this is someone who's in the business. This is someone who's working. It's not like he's telling this story. It's not like I'm making this stuff up. And in the comments, there was a story about somebody else who worked on the show and talked about how terrible Kevin Hart was, trying to get people fired if they didn't apologize to him directly and all this type of nonsense. The point being is that for all the stories they can tell about Steve Harvey not being a good guy and Kevin not being a good guy, there's people who can come out and talk about how bad Katt Williams is. And
no, absolutely. Right, I can absolutely, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, so when it's all said and done, Katt is really opening up some cans of worms, and people are going to their corners. They're deciding who it is that they want to team up with. And all these folks run around talking about Katt, I believe everything he's saying. Okay, then you's a fool because he ain't run a 40-yard dash from a basketball court because that ain't 40 yards.
I don't.
So,
like I said, I believe there's.
He ain't read 3,000 books in a day or year or whatever the garbage he said, 10 books a day. Come on, man, stop it. So, he was
saying 3,000 up into the age he was now. But I agree with you. I feel like it's probably maybe 75% truth, 25% outright bold lies just to embellish the story. So that's my take.
It is.
Are we ready to move to the next story and talk about how Vivica Fox is kind of whack?
All right, so let's let me pull up Vivica Fox. So Vivica Fox, and once again we're talking gospel Negroes this today. That's how it looks.
Darling, to each his own. Do you know what I mean? I'm very happy.
Let's start it over. So this is Vivica Fox. He was stopped by some reporter and was asked this question.
Do you feel like now is the perfect time to have the conversation that Taraji kind of continued over Monique? You're an actress. You've been out there. Is this the perfect time to kind of talk about that in the right platform?
Darling, to each his own. Do you know what I mean? I'm very happy, very blessed. And
no, we don't.
To each his own. I didn't have that experience, so, but to get your piece out is important. I totally understand that. And I love my girls for looking out for each other. But I'm good.
Vivica is kind of Vivica has slid back into the damn near Tubi lifestyle channel. She's like, man, just give me a check. Whatever that check may be, I'm gonna do me a few more. Because another thing people don't understand about this business, they can go shoot a movie and shoot their parts of a movie in 1 or 2 days and go home. If they're the star of the film, they might be on a movie set for 10 days, 2 weeks, right? So once again, going back to that contractor stuff, Vivica like, man, I'm going to go ahead and get this little role over here in Lifestyle movie. I'm going to go over and sell these wigs over here. I'm going to sell these commercials.
Lifetime, not Lifestyle.
Oh,
it's
Lifetime,
called Lifetime.
Whatever. So, but
come on, it's a bummy statement. It's a bummy statement. Even if it's weird to me when Black women do this kind of thing, like, well, that's their experience. And the way she said it was so hoity-toity with that cheap-ass wig on. I'm good. It's not my experience. And by the way, before y'all talk about that I'm also wearing a wig, this is Brazilian raw. Thank you very much. Brazilian raw hair is on my head.
God, Lord have mercy.
Okay, all jokes aside, I feel like Vivica could have handled this better. She could have said, yeah, I think it's a perfect time for Black actresses to fight for equity or whatever. She could have said that, but instead she's saying, oh, them hoes over there having an issue? I'm not. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm going to keep walking. And should we say that as a whole group of Black actresses? Like, I'm good, so you must be fine. What?
Yeah, I just think we keep on waiting for these people to really give a damn. People like Vivica Fox says, I'm good over here making these little commercials and making my little, $2 million a year, whatever. I'm just throwing a random number out there. This money I'm making over here is good for me. I don't need to chase this stuff. When we go back to, matter of fact, let me pull up, because the way these gossiping in these streets, who would have thought years ago you would see, where is it? Hold on, let me find it. There we go. who would have thought years ago you would see Oprah Winfrey out here?
On Ozempic. Oh, that's not what you
That
meant.
too.
That I was not supporting Taraji. Taraji will tell you herself that I've been the greatest champion of this film, championing not only the behind-the-scenes production, but also everything that everybody needed. I'm not in charge of the budget because that's Warner Brothers. You know, that's the way the studio system works. And we as producers, everybody gets their salary. That's negotiated by your team. And so whenever I heard there was an issue or there was a problem, I would step in and do whatever I could to make it right. I'm all for everybody being the greatest and rising to meet the right.
You even look at this situation with Oprah Winfrey, who we consider royal, and she is. She's Hollywood royalty. She's black Hollywood.
She's Hollywood royalty.
She backpedaling. She's like, I even got to come out here and have to talk about, because they trying to throw me under the bus. There's a time you wouldn't hear a peep from Oprah Winfrey. Be like, man, I don't give a dog what the people saying about me. But these internet streets are so powerful now, and that Color Purple movie's got to make that money back. Because for people,
which it won't, by the way, it won't make the money back. That's only made $62 million total on a $125 million budget. But in the film's defense, most movies, and you know this, that most movies that are nominated for Oscars and Golden Globes, they're more made for the award season and not so much for consumers. Like the last year's winner, Coda, $62 million budget, only made $4 million in the theater, but won a bunch of awards. So
yeah, and I don't know how much more money they make on the streaming side of it. Warner Brothers, if you say Warner Brothers is controlling it, that means that it will be on what is that? Is that Max? I think Warner Brothers may own HBO Max. So.
But they shouldn't be laying that at Oprah's feet. Oprah is, like she said, she's not Warner Brothers. She's powerful, but she's not as powerful as a studio run by the white guys. She's not.
Of course not. People have to understand how this business. Most of the people who run this world, we never see. We don't know who they are. Oprah Winfrey is a producer in this scenario, and people get confused the difference between a producer and a director. A producer is basically the one who hires everybody, including the directors. Right? They're putting all the stuff together, putting the budgets together. And that's not the executive producer most of the time. Most of the time, the executive producers are the ones who are going to raise the money. But then producers are on the ground. But point being, man, these internet streets got everybody scrambling, man. It's got everybody scrambling to sit up here and try to find a way to stave off the nonsense. We didn't talk on this show about everybody from Ice Cube to Oprah and everybody backpedaling and trying to survive these internet streets. It's wild. It is really wild, the power of the way these streets are gossiping. It's just really crazy.
Hey, do you want to go into true crime then? Because the true crime streets are talking too. You know, I love true crime.
You want to talk about that little Gypsy Rose person?
Yes. So Gypsy Rose
I don't
Blanchard.
know is, but definitely you got the floor.
Miguel has no idea who this girl is. You would have thought she just fell out of he said the plain face girl is what he's calling her.
She got 7.9 million followers, so she's somebody.
She got out of jail on Tuesday.
She got out of jail on Tuesday. For what? But lay it out, because I don't know.
Okay, so Gypsy Rose Blanchard was a young woman who a while ago, 8 years ago, her mother abused her. Her mother had Munchausen by proxy. So her mother was medically abusing and physically abusing Gypsy, had her gallbladder removed, had all her teeth removed, had her a feeding tube that she didn't need inserted, told people she had cancer. And the reason she was doing this was because she would get a lot of attention for having a sick child, and she would get a lot of money. They got a house from Habitat for Humanity. They had all these donation things. She got a lot of money by pretending that her daughter was sick. Her daughter ended up meeting a guy online, a special needs adult who was autistic, and had a relationship with him for a year, and told him that the only way I'm going to be free is if you kill my mom. And she basically solicited a murder of her mother. The boy who was dating her came to the house, the guy who did the brutally murdered her mother.
No,
that is her new husband. That fat blob of a person is her new husband that they got married in prison. The guy who she tricked into killing her mom, his name is Nicholas Godejohn, and that last name is spelled Godejohn.
Let's see if we can get a little bit of Go ahead, I'm listening.
They mailed the knife back to his house, and they spent the night together, posted all these nasty things on Facebook about killing Gypsy's mother, had these videos out there. They end up getting caught. Gypsy claimed, oh my God, my mother's dead. I did not know. I can't believe this. What are you talking about? Whatever. She ended up getting caught. She got 8 years for what she did, and he got life in prison without parole. And I think that boy should not have gotten life in prison without parole. Seeing, one, he's a special needs adult. Nobody advocated for him. They did not. How does she, who planned it, get 8 years? And and now she's out. Now, okay, and the real thing is she's out now. And she is now a full-blown celebrity. She got out last week. How many followers does she have on social media, Miguel? You said 7 point what?
She's 7.9 million, I believe. Hold on.
7.9 million followers on social media. She was on The View. She has been on multiple platforms doing interviews. She's married. She's now talking about how great her sex life is with her husband, who married her while she was in prison. Which, by the way, I think the husband saw come up, and that's why he married her. I don't like the fact. I don't care that her mother is dead. I don't care about that. But I think it's very creepy.
Don't say that.
I don't care that her mother is dead. I'm not
rewinding
that. Rewind it back. I don't care that hoe is dead. The reason why I say that is
her mother
because...
a hoe? What did I miss? Her mother was sick, right?
Oh, she was. Her mother actually... Her Gypsy's father was actually tricked into having sex with her mom and them getting pregnant. And then she never let him see Gypsy. He was actually only 17 and she was 20...
You really like this true crime stuff, boy. You spend a lot of time.
It's my passion.
Oh, my God.
It's what I live for. Anyway, but no, I just say I don't care that her mother is dead, because her mother would have even gone to prison for millions of years for what she did, or this would have happened. What I have an issue with is now that Gypsy is now being glamorized and treated as an influencer, even though I don't care that her mom is dead. You took a life. There should be some humility about taking a life, right? Regardless of the reason why. It's the same reason why people can't stand Kyle Rittenhouse.
What about Kyle Rittenhouse?
It's the same reason people can't stand Kyle Rittenhouse.
Well, yeah, So all right. So I'm gonna let you wrap this up, because I honestly I don't give a damn about this story.
You don't care. It's a wrap, y'all. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. You don't care.
Damn about this story. All right. So before we get up out of here, let me see what else did we want to mention?
The fun story. Well, not the fun story. The crazy story about the guy who jumped over the bench, because I have to yell at black people real quick.
That's absolutely.
Let me
not
close
a
my
fun
laptop.
Story. That's absolutely not a fun story.
Negroes, let me talk to y'all real quick. No. Just play the video of him jumping over the bench, and then I'll yell
I don't know if I've got that queued up. This is him when they brought him back in. So for people who don't know the story, this is the guy. There was a story, and see if it's in here somewhere. It's not. Hold on. Here, this might be it. So
that's it right there. It's just a commercial. Go up a little bit.
Let's see if it plays. So for people who know the story, he was in Nevada. He was getting the judge was reading to him his charges, and he was getting ready to. Let me see. All right, let's see.
The courtroom where a judge was attacked. The suspect this time in a spit mask and shackled. Bring before that same judge again. Here's Kana Whitworth.
Tonight, shackled and wearing a spit mask and mittens to prevent self-inflicted injuries, Deobra Redden back in court, coming face-to-face with the Nevada judge he brutally attacked just days ago.
Got a lot going on, sir.
Judge Mary Kay Holthus was about to sentence Redden last Wednesday for violating his parole from a previous attempted battery case.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else, because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court...
I'm trying to figure out how he got
suddenly
loose.
Charging Judge Holthus,
and
according to the arrest report, tackling
he was
and
never
punching
shackled.
Her
he was never shackled.
Pulling her hair out. Multiple people rushing to her aid, also injured. In court today, Holthus sentencing Redden for up to 48 months in prison for that previous attempted battery case.
I want to make it clear that I am not changing or modifying the sentence I was in the process of imposing last week before I was interrupted by defendant's actions.
Interrupted.
And David, Redden faces multiple charges, including battery and extortion from Wednesday's attack.
Pause that real quick.
A different judge for those. David.
Kana Whitworth tonight. Kana, thank you.
All right.
So black people were in the comments when this video posted saying, oh my gosh, she was antagonizing him. She was antagonizing him. See, judges shouldn't be slick. Judges ain't God. I get annoyed with black people sometimes when they say stuff like this. If you watch the full video, because again, true crime, courtroom interrogations, that's what I watch while I'm working all day long. I watched this full thing. She was like, sir, you said you've learned from your mistakes, but let's just read through your history. Have you read through your history, sir? Let's read through it real quick together. And she read through it. It was 3 domestic violence, 1 attack on a protected person. It was robberies. It was a long rap sheet of stuff. And his lawyer was still like, well, I think he deserved probation for the 3rd time that he was in for violating probation for domestic violence. That's what she was like, sir, I can't give you probation. No, I can't give you like people in the comments were acting like he was in there for jaywalking or a speeding ticket, and she gave him. I was going to give him all this time.
48 months. I'm just like, brother, you are blessed to only get 4 years for leaping.
No, that's 48 months. No. That's 48 months for the probation violation. He has a whole separate court case for him attacking a judge that is a protected person. He's looking at a whole other 15, 16 years just for that.
Yeah, he won't be touching the ground outside no time soon.
And one more thing, people kept saying, why was this judge allowed to reside over the case? He attacked her. It's a conflict of interest. It's not. I talked to a lawyer friend of mine. Apparently, because the judge had it written down what his charges were going to be, and it was being read off, she just had to take all that paperwork, give it to another judge, and then get that same paperwork back to make sure she didn't add on anything. She read directly from the paper she was going to read from last time. So there is no conflict of interest. She didn't give him extra time. She just read off the same paper, and that's why it all stays legal, and she could have done it. I think he's an idiot. Boy, you weren't going to do them full 48 months. You were maybe going to do 18 months, 9 months for time served and be gone. Now you're going in for serious time.
Yeah, that boy.
They wheeled him in like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, he ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer. And so when it's all said and done, you're out of here, buddy. That was silly. All right, so what else we got before we get up out of here? So what did I miss?
Did you watch the documentary I told you to watch? Did you watch Curry and Cyanide?
No. You think you're the boss of me? You got me watching with my wife that Gilead, what the bomb and what is that thing?
Gilead. It's called, and you love it. Don't let him play, y'all. He's watching the Gilded Age with his wife. She gets fashion and fabulousness. He gets intrigue and good storyline. Tell me I'm lying. And y'all almost done. You guys are almost done with season 2.
Here's the thing about this Gilded Age joint, and this is our little segment of what we're watching right now. It's so petty. Like that wife, like you have no other, you have nothing else to do but worry about who gonna let you in the room. You the richest woman in this town, and they still like, we don't want you to come hang out with us. But I want you to hang out with me. Come to my house for this party. This whole series is written about one side is an extremely wealthy man, and he's got this wife of his who runs his life, and because she wants everybody invited to these parties. Now the costumes are amazing. They are the fabrics. You can look at those things. It is amazing. The sister that's in there, the story line about the sister with the dentist father and all that. That's interesting. You know, I'm always loving about black people. The black girl.
I don't think he's a dentist.
I don't think he's a dentist. He's a pharmacist. He's a pharmacist.
A pharmacist, yeah.
So that's interesting. And then, of course, the whole thing going down south to Tuskegee and that whole situation. And obviously that was terrible. So that is, so we're watching that.
Just admit that you like the show. You're calling it petty.
I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's kind of like, it's like now to the point that's like literally, I'm pretty sure, Trey's out there with her glass of wine. Like, I can't wait till he finishes up his show because we got to watch the next episode.
What episode are y'all on?
And the national championship is on. And so that's where I'm going to be. That's what I'm trying to watch. But she might be there with her wine like, next episode of Gilded Age.
Well, wait. What episode are y'all on? What episode are you guys on?
I don't know, season 2 something, 4 or 5. I'm not sure.
You're not even trying, but yeah, you guys. We recommend that.
It's all right. It's okay.
It
ain't better than Kane and Raising Kanan though. Nope.
It is. Stop it. Listen, and the reason why you don't like.
You know what? We gotta. You know what? This is about the second or third series that you asked me to watch. I don't watch for you. Now you got to go watch something I want you to watch. Dadgummit.
Okay, don't you say that. I'm almost spit on myself.
You got 3 seasons to catch up on. Let's go.
Wait, what network is it on?
Stars.
Nope, because we ain't got Stars. Pick something we got. We got HBO, we got Hulu, we got Netflix.
I don't know what did we watch on Netflix? And then you don't have Apple TV, so you can't watch Monarch. That's pretty good.
We have Apple TV.
Go watch Monarch. It's good. You gotta watch Monarch.
Okay, I'll go watch Monarch. I'll go watch Monarch. But I can't do Raising Kanan. I can't do any of the power stuff. I can't, y'all. Take my black card, burn it, throw it away. I can't do it.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting, but you got to be deep into it. Yeah, I'm not even gonna put Raising Kanan on you because it's too much. You got to watch and know what's going on. All right, so
are you gonna go see Aquaman? Oh wait, sorry. Are you gonna go see Aquaman? Because apparently it's getting horrible reviews. No. Aquaman 2.
No,
right.
The DC Comics.
That was easy.
The DC Comics hasn't had one that's like, ooh, that was amazing. None of them have been good to me.
Wonder Woman, the first one, not the second one. The second one was like, y'all done jumped the shark. That's because okay. But this new Aquaman 2 has 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. So basically that makes it rotten, right?
I don't know what the Rotten Tomato thing be confusing me. So I'm done putting my brain around that. But nothing about that thing. I'm trying to think if I sat through any movie with that Momoa dude in it. Is it Momoa in his name, Momoa?
It's Momoa. He was extremely good and creepy in the new Fast and Furious. I was shocked at how good and creepy.
See, I haven't seen that yet. I was going to say, I was like, I kind of want to see that, but that's an ensemble cast. It's not like he's the star.
He steals the show. I thought he was just going to be some background villain. Who cares? Blah blah blah. Yeah. But he really does a shockingly good job. And I don't even really like the Fast and Furious movies that much. I watched them because Omar likes them. Yeah. But Jason Momoa was good.
Has he finally shook the Lisa Bonet connection? Is he finally separated?
I think they're finally starting divorce proceedings, but they've been separated for like 3 years.
I know, but I'm like, when you think about him, do you immediately think about Lisa Bonet, or is he finally on his own now? Because he was just like that.
I used to.
Yeah.
I think once he became Aquaman, he became like, oh, you're just Jason Momoa Aquaman. You're not Jason, what's his name? Jason Momoa.
Lisa Bonet's ex-husband. All right. Great show today, man. As I mentioned, shout out to all the gospel Negroes. Y'all go off in those comment streets. Enjoy it. It's wild to me, but it is what it is. So I don't know what we're talking about next week, but I know y'all will be here, and go tell your friends how dope we are. We'll see y'all soon.